Welcome, curious minds, to The Deep Dive. Today, we're embarking on a journey into a habit that doesn't just tweak your mornings. It really holds the potential to fundamentally transform your entire day and maybe even, the trajectory of your life. We're talking about building a powerful, deeply personalized morning routine.
Yeah.
This isn't some fleeting trend. It's what we're calling a game-changing habit, maybe even a shortcut to taking control of your whole day.
That's a great way to put it.
And it's applicable to everyone, right? Whether you're a student burning the midnight oil, a busy parent navigating, endless demands, or a professional weaving through a chaotic schedule.
Absolutely.
The profound beauty of this practice, it seems, extends far beyond just productivity. It's about deliberately reclaiming a vital piece of your day purely for yourself.
It's precisely that reclaiming of self that makes this so compelling, I think. In a world that often feels overwhelmingly chaotic, right? With constant demands on our attention and energy.
Yeah, constantly.
Gaining intentional control over your mornings becomes incredibly vital. It's not simply an exercise in, ticking off tasks.
Right.
Instead, it's about intentionally setting a tone, a kind of a frequency, if you will, that reverberates through every hour that follows.
A frequency. I like that.
Moving beyond simple productivity into a really profound impact on your mental well-being, your sustained focus, and just that overarching sense of personal agency.
Okay.
Our deep dive today, and we're drawing significant insights from The Art of a Transformative Morning Routine. It promises to lay out a methodical approach to truly reshaping your entire day's potential, starting with those crucial first hours.
Absolutely. And that's our precise mission today for you, our dedicated listener.
Yeah.
We want to guide you step by step through creating a morning routine that isn't just effective, but that truly works for you.
You specifically, yeah.
We've meticulously distilled some truly fantastic, actionable insights from The Art of a Transformative Morning Routine, which offers a really profound blueprint for mastering your mornings.
It really does.
So let's unpack this. Our goal is to empower you with that blueprint, enabling you to design a morning that actively serves your highest intentions and goals.
And what's particularly insightful about the approach outlined in this material, I think, is its emphasis on deliberate, intentional steps.
Intentional.
This isn't about merely waking up early or, adhering to some rigid, one-size-fits-all ideal.
No.
Instead, it's about a systematic process of crafting a personalized system, almost like a bespoke architecture for your mornings. That aligns perfectly with your unique needs, your deepest values, and your specific goals. It pushes beyond just generic advice into the realm of deep personal intentionality.
And that intentionality, that sort of foundational sense of purpose, is actually where our very first step begins. It's the foundational why behind your routine.
Exactly.
Without this, you're essentially building a house without a blueprint, or, sailing a ship without a destination.
Precisely. Before you even contemplate setting an alarm, before you consider what activities you might include, the absolute first step, according to The Art of a Transformative Morning Routine, is to define your why.
Okay.
This foundational inquiry asks you to pause and reflect deeply. Why do I truly want a morning routine? And maybe even more importantly, what specific outcomes, feelings, or states of being do I hope to achieve through this?
Right.
This isn't just a fleeting philosophical exercise. It is the bedrock upon which all subsequent practical steps are built. Think of it as the gravitational center of your entire routine.
I find this point fascinating because it's so often overlooked, isn't it?
It really is.
Many people jump straight to the what? Oh, I should meditate, I should exercise.
Yeah, the tactics.
But without a strong why, a routine immediately feels like a chore, doesn't it? An external imposition, something you have to do rather than something you get to do.
That's a crucial distinction.
And that distinction is critical for long-term sustainability. Here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Truly understanding this simple step actually acts as a powerful preventative measure against future burnout and abandonment. If your only motivation is that, an article suggested it, or because some influencer does it.
Right, external pressure.
Your motivation is external, fragile. But when you connect it to a deep, resonant personal desire, whether it's greater mental clarity, better health, or simply a moment of peace before the world demands your attention, that's when it transcends obligation. It becomes non-negotiable.
Yes.
It transforms routine into an expression of who you want to be.
And when we connect this to the broader psychological landscape, this why directly taps into what's known as intrinsic motivation.
Intrinsically.
Doing something for its inherent satisfaction or value rather than for external rewards or pressures.
Right.
This makes the effort feel purposeful, shifting your perception of the morning routine from like a burdensome obligation to a genuine opportunity for self-improvement and growth.
I see.
Consider those mornings when the alarm rings and all you crave is 5 more minutes of sleep.
Oh, yeah. We've all been there.
In those moments, it's not just about sheer willpower. It's about remembering that profound, deeply personal reason you set out on this path in the first place. That clear purpose acts as an internal anchor, grounding you during those challenging mornings when your resolve might waver.
An anchor.
It helps you remember that you're not just getting up early. You're getting up early for something vital, something connected to your very identity. There's research in identity-based habits, for instance, that strongly suggests that when your routine aligns with your self-concept, like, I am the kind of person who prioritizes their well-being by waking up intentionally, the motivation becomes less about fleeting outcomes and more about reinforcing your core identity. That makes it far more resilient.
So let's pull an example, maybe directly from the source material.
Yeah.
Perhaps your current situation involves feeling constantly rushed, perpetually reacting to demands.
Yeah, just putting out fires all day.
Exactly, and generally unproductive throughout your day. Your why, then, isn't merely to have a routine. It's to deliberately create space for calm and intentionality.
Okay, so what does that look like?
Well, what might that look like in tangible practice? Instead of immediately grabbing your phone, to check emails or the latest notifications.
It's a doom scroll.
Right. You might spend your first moments quietly planning your day, setting your top priorities with a clear mind, or maybe just engaging in a brief meditation session. This profound intentionality means you become significantly less reactive to external demands throughout the day.
Less reactive.
And far more thoughtful, measured, and strategic in your decisions as the day unfolds. You are, in essence, consciously creating the space to respond thoughtfully, rather than merely reacting impulsively.
And that profound applicability of the why, it really stretches across a diverse range of life scenarios, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Imagine a university student whose why might be to achieve better focus for their rigorous studies, intelligently utilizing those quiet, distraction-free morning hours to deeply engage with complex course material.
Makes sense.
Or consider a busy parent whose why might be to carve out precious, uninterrupted personal time before the relentless demands of family life begin.
So 5 minutes of peace.
Exactly. Perhaps for a moment of quiet reflection, a vigorous exercise session, or pursuing a personal creative endeavor.
Yeah.
A driven professional, on the other hand, might seek to prioritize their physical health, strategically fitting in a workout before the workday takes over, or maybe to meticulously plan their day to maximize their most productive high-energy hours.
Right.
Each individual why is deeply personal, serving as the unique internal driving force that powers the entire routine. It's really the fuel for consistency.
So how exactly does articulating this profound why build such deep psychological commitment? It seems like it transforms a mere suggestion, a vague idea, into a powerful, deeply personal declaration.
It does. It's the difference between unconsciously allowing habits to form that might not serve you, like mindlessly scrolling through your phone as soon as you wake.
Guilty. Sometimes.
We all are. And consciously, deliberately deciding how you want your day to begin and why that beginning is so essential to you.
Okay.
It's the fundamental shift from doing something because you feel an external pressure that you should do it versus doing something because you want to, because you deeply understand and feel its profound transformative benefit.
The want to versus should.
That conscious, deeply felt decision-making acts as an incredibly powerful pre-commitment device, making your morning routine a conscious choice rather than a struggle.
And that why also provides sort of an invaluable framework for ongoing evaluation and adaptation, right?
Yes, exactly. When you inevitably feel your routine faltering or, life throws you a curveball.
Which it always does.
Always. You can always return to that core purpose, that initial spark. If the current iteration of your routine isn't effectively serving your why, then it signals that it's time to adjust, to iterate, rather than to simply abandon it entirely.
Oh, it's not failure, it's feedback.
Precisely. It shifts the perception of the routine from a rigid set of rules to a dynamic, evolving tool for continuous self-improvement and personal alignment. It becomes a compass guiding your choices.
I think that's incredibly freeing for people. Okay, so once you have that clarity of purpose, that strong why, rooted firmly in your mind, then you can move on to the first truly practical, actionable step, setting a consistent wake-up time. It sounds deceptively simple, but it's where so many people, myself included sometimes, tend to stumble.
This is truly where the rubber meets the road, as they say, where intention meets action. Step 2 is fundamentally about setting a consistent wake-up time. And the core information here, emphasized strongly by the source, is that consistency is paramount, even more critical than trying to force yourself to wake up at, say, 4 a.m. if that time isn't genuinely sustainable for you.
Okay, so consistency over extremity.
Absolutely. The key is to choose a wake-up time that you can realistically and genuinely commit to, not just on demanding weekdays, but 7 days a week, including weekends.
Including weekends, that's the hard part.
That's often the kicker. And if your current wake-up time is quite far from your ideal, the source wisely advises against drastic sudden shifts.
Right, don't shock the system.
Exactly. Instead, it suggests starting gradually, perhaps by just 15 to 30 minutes earlier each day or week until you comfortably reach your desired goal. This gentle, incremental approach significantly increases your chances of long-term adherence.
So what does this gradual, consistent approach truly mean for you, our listener? It's about more than just setting an alarm. It's about actively training your body.
Right.
Not just relying on an external cue.
Precisely. It's less about hitting a specific number on the clock and far more about establishing a predictable, reliable physiological rhythm.
Okay.
This step immediately counters that all-or-nothing trap, that perfectionist mindset that derails so many well-intentioned individuals. Don't try to be a hero on day one. Simply aim for consistent effort.
What's so insightful here is the emphasis on consistency over extremity. And you mentioned this is underpinned by science.
Yes, robust scientific principles. Our bodies, much like precision instruments, operate on an intricate internal clock, famously known as the circadian rhythm.
The body clock.
Exactly. This rhythm governs not just our sleep-wake cycle, but also influences hormone release, body temperature regulation, even our energy levels throughout the day.
Wow.
A consistent sleep schedule, and by direct extension, a consistent wake-up time, acts as a powerful reinforcement for this natural internal rhythm. When you wake up at the same time every single day, your body learns to anticipate this moment.
It prepares itself.
It naturally begins preparing itself, subtly adjusting hormone levels, raising core body temperature, leading to significantly better energy upon waking and a marked reduction in sleep inertia.
Sleep inertia. That awful groggy feeling.
That disorienting, heavy grogginess many people experience. This scientific understanding is precisely why skipping consistency on weekends is such a common and, frankly, detrimental mistake.
Oh.
It sends conflicting, confusing signals to your body, essentially inducing a mild form of social jet lag every Monday morning,
Social jet lag. I felt that.
profoundly disrupting the very rhythm you were diligently trying to build and optimize.
That truly makes so much sense. It's like trying to teach your body a new language, but only practicing the vocabulary on weekdays. You'll never get fluent, will you?
Exactly. Not truly fluent.
And to make that physiological training a little gentler, maybe more inviting, the source offers some practical tips.
It does. Excellent ones. Suggests using a sunrise alarm, which subtly and gradually brightens your room, mimicking a natural dawn.
Oh, those are nice.
Or opting for soothing, gentle tones instead of a jarring, heart attack-inducing beep. The overarching goal here is to transform the act of waking up from a harsh, sudden assault into a pleasant, gradual, and even anticipated experience.
Okay, make it nice. And there's a pro tip about the phone.
Yes, a brilliant pro tip from the source that harnesses a simple behavioral psychology trick. Keep your phone across the room.
Ah, the classic.
This isn't merely about preventing late-night scrolling, which also impacts sleep quality, by the way.
Right.
It's a strategically ingenious forcing function. By placing your phone physically out of arm's reach, you are literally compelled to get out of bed to silence the alarm.
You have to move.
This seemingly minor act of physical movement immediately breaks the insidious snooze button cycle, which only fragments sleep, leaving you feeling more tired and less refreshed. It's a small barrier, but one that yields significant returns in breaking undesirable habits.
That's genius. It's designed to prevent that immediate gravitational pull of digital input. Think about it. How does this small act of physical removal, getting your phone across the room, profoundly impact the very first moments of your day.
Well, instead of immediately diving headfirst into the potentially anxiety-inducing world of emails, social media feeds, or breaking news,
Yeah, what did I miss?
right, you're effectively forced into a moment of pure, unadulterated you time. It consciously creates a critical pause, a vital buffer between the world of sleep and the inevitable onslaught of external demands.
A buffer. I like that.
This prevents immediate distraction, and perhaps most importantly, sets a much more intentional, self-directed tone for your entire day. You are choosing your start rather than letting it choose you.
It's an active establishment of a vital psychological boundary then.
Absolutely. Instead of initiating your day reactively, immediately consumed by external demands and other people's agendas, you begin with a deliberate, proactive state of self-management. This small, immediate victory of conscious action sets an incredibly powerful, positive precedent for the remainder of your morning, and indeed for the entire day. It's a micro win that builds macro momentum.
Love that. Micro win, macro momentum.
Yeah.
Okay, so from when you wake up consistently, we seamlessly transition to what you do immediately after. This brings us to step 3. Create a wake-up ritual.
Precisely. Step 3 is all about crafting a carefully designed wake-up ritual. The source defines this as the conscious activity is occupying the first, say, 5-10 minutes immediately after waking.
Just 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, this isn't intended to be your full, comprehensive morning routine yet. Rather, it's a gentle, intentional sequence of actions specifically designed to signal to your brain and body that the day is beginning.
Yeah.
It's about gracefully easing into motion, rather than precipitously jumping headfirst into the day's inherent stresses or immediate demands. It's an invitation, not a sudden jolt.
I really appreciate that concept of a decompression chamber for your brain. It's like slowly, thoughtfully opening the curtains on your day, letting the light filter in gradually, rather than yanking them wide open and being blinded.
Exactly. It's an invitation to consciousness, not a shocking jolt. This liminal phase, that delicate period bridging full sleep and full wakefulness, is surprisingly important for cognitive function and emotional regulation.
Really? How so?
It actively prevents your brain from being immediately overwhelmed by external demands, like checking urgent notifications or diving straight into a daunting to-do list.
Right, the stress hits immediately.
Exactly. When individuals rush from sleep directly into immediate demanding activity, it often results in a jolt to the nervous system. This can manifest as feelings of overwhelm, heightened anxiety, or simply that persistent, unpleasant grogginess that clings throughout the morning.
Oh, yeah.
This intentional ritual, however, provides a gentle, buffered transition. It allows your brain to gradually shift gears, promoting a smoother shift in brainwave activity, which in turn helps to significantly reduce that grogginess and improve overall cognitive function and alertness in those crucial first moments.
So what does this wake-up ritual practically look like? The source provides a few suggestions.
Yes, universally beneficial ones. First, and often overlooked, simply drink a full glass of water.
Just water. Simple.
Simple, yet incredibly powerful. After hours of sleep, your body is in a state of mild dehydration. This immediate rehydration kickstarts your metabolism and replenishes essential fluids.
Okay, that makes sense. Hydrate first. What else?
Rehydration is foundational for optimal cellular function, energy production, even cognitive clarity. Another highly recommended suggestion is to open a window, or ideally, step outside to get some natural sunlight.
Light exposure.
Yes. This exposure to natural light cues is profoundly vital for regulating your body's melatonin production.
Melatonin, the sleep hormone.
Exactly. Melatonin begins to decrease with the onset of light. Exposure to natural light in the morning effectively suppresses its production, sending a powerful biological signal to your body that it's time to be awake, alert, and energized. It's quite literally a natural biological wake-up call, recalibrating your internal clock.
Okay, water, light, anything else for this initial ritual?
And the third suggestion is to engage in some light stretching or gentle breath work.
Okay, not a full workout yet.
No, not yet. This isn't about an intense workout. It's purely about gentle physical awakening. Just a few minutes dedicated to stretching out those persistent sleep kinks or taking some deep intentional breaths can significantly increase oxygen flow to your brain and body, promoting a profound sense of calm alertness and physical readiness.
So these simple acts, water, light, gentle movement, they're conditioning the brain somehow.
They are remarkably powerful conditioning tools for your brain. They actively help to forge positive associations with the act of waking up, gradually reducing the common dread or resistance many people feel when their alarm sounds.
Reducing the dread. That's key.
Instead of waking up to a sense of stress or obligation, you are intentionally waking up to deliberate acts of self-care, preparing your body and mind. This profound psychological conditioning, it's a form of classical conditioning, actually,
Interesting.
makes the entire process of starting your day far more inviting and significantly less of a struggle. It's about actively creating a positive feedback loop for your brain, making the morning something to look forward to, not to dread.
Okay, fantastic. Now that you've deeply anchored your why and established a gentle, consistent launch pad for your day with that wake-up ritual, it's time to really build out the core structure of your routine. This is step 4. Build a modular routine.
This is truly where the beauty of customization and adaptability comes into its own. The core concept here, as brilliantly articulated in the source, is to envision your routine not as a rigid monolithic block, but rather like a set of Lego blocks.
Legos, okay, I get that.
Infinitely adaptable, interchangeable, and rearrangeable. The source wisely categorizes these essential blocks into 3 core areas: mind, body, and planning.
Mind, body, planning. Got it.
And the critical piece of advice here, often overlooked, is not to overdo it from the start. Aiming for, say, 3 to 5 distinct activities is often more than enough to begin with. It ensures sustainability and prevents overwhelm.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit more deeply. The Lego blocks analogy is absolutely brilliant. It immediately strips away the pressure of trying to create some perfect, immutable sequence.
Right. No perfect sequence needed.
This isn't about striving for some ideal, rigid perfection, but rather embracing flexible effectiveness. It wisely acknowledges that life is inherently unpredictable. Things happen, schedules shift,
Always.
and sometimes you simply need to swap out a block, or perhaps on a particularly busy day, simply have fewer blocks in play. It's about progress, not perfection.
I mean, this concept of modularity raises a truly important question.
Yeah.
Why is this flexible, adaptable approach so fundamentally key to long-term adherence and genuine sustainability?
Why is it?
It's precisely because life isn't static, right? Our energy levels fluctuate, our priorities constantly shift, and unexpected schedule changes are an inevitable part of existence.
True.
If your routine is rigid, even the smallest deviation can feel like an absolute failure. That leads to profound demotivation and ultimately abandoning the entire practice.
The I messed up, might as well quit cycle.
Exactly that cycle.
Right.
Modularity, however, allows for seamless adaptation to different life phases or even just different energy levels on a given day. It fundamentally prevents the routine from completely breaking down.
Okay.
It shifts the entire focus from an all-or-nothing perfectionist approach to one of consistent progress and graceful adaptation, even if that progress looks different from day to day. It's about building a sustainable, resilient practice, not just engaging in a temporary, unsustainable sprint.
That makes perfect sense. So let's break down these 3 essential categories: mind, body, planning, and offer some concrete, actionable examples for each Lego block. First up, the mind category, focusing on mental clarity. What goes in this bucket?
Okay, for the mind category, the source primarily suggests activities specifically designed to quiet the incessant mental chatter and actively promote a state of focused presence. Journaling is a prime example.
Journaling. Okay.
And its power lies in its versatility. It can take several forms, each offering distinct benefits. There's gratitude journaling, where you deliberately list things you are genuinely thankful for.
Nice.
That profoundly shifts your perspective towards positivity and abundance, priming your brain for appreciation.
Okay.
Then there's goal journaling, which helps to crystallize your objectives, keeping them vividly front of mind and reinforcing your commitment.
Right. Focus on the goals.
And free writing, where you simply allow whatever comes to mind to flow onto the page without judgment. That can be incredibly cathartic, serving as a powerful way to declutter your thoughts, process unresolved emotions, and gain self-awareness.
A brain dump.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
Each form uniquely contributes to enhanced mental clarity and self-awareness.
And then there's the classic practice of meditation or prayer, maybe for 5-10 minutes. That's a staple for a reason, isn't it?
Absolutely. The enduring appeal and effectiveness of meditation or prayer lie in their ability to cultivate profound mental quietude. Even a short 5-10 minute session can yield remarkable benefits.
Even just 5 minutes.
Even just 5 minutes. Meditation, for instance, trains your attention, reduces mental reactivity, significantly lowers stress, and dramatically improves focus by strengthening neural pathways associated with concentration. Prayer, for those whose spiritual path includes it, offers a similar sense of inner calm, deep connection, and purposeful, reflective contemplation.
Right.
Both practices serve to powerfully ground you before the inevitable demands of the day begin,
Grounding, yeah.
significantly enhancing your capacity to concentrate, make thoughtful decisions, and navigate challenges with greater presence and equanimity.
The third option for the mind category is reading something uplifting or thought-provoking. Why that specific distinction? Uplifting or thought-provoking? Why not just, read the news?
That's a crucial distinction. Uplifting reading sets an immediate, positive, emotional, and energetic tone for your day, effectively countering any nascent negativity or anxiety before it takes root.
Okay, start positive.
This could range from inspirational stories, empowering affirmations, or simply content that genuinely makes you feel good and hopeful. Thought-provoking reading, conversely, actively stimulates your intellect and encourages personal growth and continuous learning.
Learning.
This might involve diving into nonfiction, exploring philosophical concepts, or even engaging with a challenging essay on a topic you care about. Both types deliberately move you away from the passive, often reactive consumption of information like scrolling through news feeds or social media,
Right.
and instead draw you towards active, intentional engagement that genuinely nourishes your mind in a positive, growth-oriented way. It consciously sets a precedent for lifelong learning and personal development, encouraging an open and curious mindset.
Okay, mind blocks covered. Let's shift focus to the body category. Physical activation. What are some of those Lego blocks for getting the body moving?
Right. For the body category, the primary aim is to gently awaken and energize your physical self, preparing it for the day. A quick 10-minute workout is an excellent and highly accessible option.
Just 10 minutes.
Yeah, this doesn't need to be an intense, sweat-drenched gym session. It could simply be a sequence of bodyweight exercises like push-ups, squats, planks,
Okay.
a short burst of cardio like jumping jacks or running in place, or even just a few rounds of dynamic stretches. The immediate, tangible benefit here is a rapid boost in circulation and a release of endorphins,
Endorphins.
providing a natural surge of energy without demanding extensive time or equipment. These short, impactful bursts are surprisingly effective at signaling to your body it's time to transition from rest to activity, improving alertness.
And for those who prefer something a bit gentler, maybe focusing on flexibility.
Yes, absolutely. Incorporating yoga or a mindful mobility flow emphasizes flexibility, gentle, conscious movement, and a profound connection with your breath.
Mind-body connection.
Exactly. This is particularly beneficial for releasing any lingering stiffness or tension accumulated during sleep and significantly improving your overall range of motion. It's a deeply mindful way to awaken your muscles and joints, preparing your body for the day's activities without strain or high impact. Plus, it provides a powerful moment of embodied awareness anchoring you firmly in the present.
And then there's the one that always gets a reaction, the cold shower or a contrast shower. For those brave enough to try it, what's the potential benefit?
Yes, it is divisive, but potentially powerful. Definitely not for everyone, but for those willing to explore it, a cold shower or a contrast shower alternating hot and cold offers several compelling potential benefits. The immediate shock of the cold water triggers a powerful physiological response, boosting alertness, increasing heart rate, stimulating blood flow.
Okay, wakes you up fast.
Beyond the immediate invigoration, some proponents and emerging research suggest it can improve circulation, potentially reduce inflammation, and, perhaps most notably, significantly enhance mental resilience.
Mental resilience. How?
By forcing you to consciously embrace and sit with discomfort, building grit. It's a remarkably powerful way to instantly kickstart your nervous system and cultivate a can-do attitude early in the day, potentially translating to better stress response later.
Interesting. Okay, finally, we arrive at the planning category, preparation. This seems critical for setting up a successful, less chaotic day.
Precisely. The first suggestion, and a truly powerful one, is simply to review your calendar.
Look ahead.
This proactive, intentional step is highly effective at preempting surprises and significantly reducing anxiety. By taking a few moments to clearly see what appointments, meetings, or deadlines are looming, you can mentally prepare, strategically allocate your time, and avoid being caught off guard.
Right, no surprises.
It provides a clear, actionable roadmap for your time and energy, allowing you to move through your day with purpose rather than just reacting.
Then, the simple act of writing down your top 3 priorities for the day. Sounds basic, but powerful.
It absolutely is. This practice emphasizes focused, strategic action over haphazard, reactive task management.
focus. Okay.
By consciously identifying your absolute top 3 priorities, those tasks that, if completed, would make the biggest positive impact on your day or week, you ensure that even if the day descends into chaos, you've at least made significant progress on the most important thing.
Makes sense. Protect the priorities.
It brings unparalleled clarity and direction to your efforts, preventing you from getting lost in a vast sea of less important, urgent-seeming tasks. This intentional focus directly guides your energy, time allocation, and decision-making throughout the day.
And the last one for planning is visualizing your day going smoothly. Visualization. People find that a bit abstract. What's the real power there?
The profound power of positive visualization lies in its ability to engage in what is known as mental rehearsal.
Mental rehearsal. Okay.
When you consciously visualize your day unfolding smoothly, successfully, effectively, you are essentially mentally rehearsing success. This powerful cognitive technique can significantly help to reduce anticipatory stress, build self-confidence, and pre-prime your brain to actively seek out opportunities and solutions rather than immediately focusing on potential obstacles or challenges. It's about consciously building a robust, positive mental framework for the day, making you far more adaptable, resilient, and effective when unexpected challenges inevitably arise. It essentially pre-paves the road for your day.
So if we take a step back, addressing these 3 core areas, mind, body, planning, how does that create such a holistic foundation?
By deliberately and consciously addressing these 3 fundamental dimensions, your mental state, your physical vitality, and your strategic preparedness, you are constructing a truly holistic and resilient foundation for your day.
Holistic.
Right. Neglecting even one of these areas can create significant imbalance and undermine the effectiveness of the others. For instance, if you intensely focus only on planning without cultivating mental clarity, mind, or ensuring physical energy, body, your meticulously crafted plans might be well-intentioned but incredibly difficult to execute effectively.
Right, you're tired or stressed.
Conversely, if you focus solely on mind and body well-being without any concrete planning, you might feel wonderful but lack strategic direction.
Aimless but happy.
Potentially. This modular, tripartite approach ensures you're nurturing your mental, physical, and strategic well-being in an integrated fashion, leading to a much more balanced, energized, and effective start. It's about setting yourself up for success on all fronts, creating synergy.
Okay, synergy, I like that.
Yeah.
So we know what to potentially do with these mind-body planning blocks. Now to the critical question of how much to do. This brings us to step 5. Customize with constraints. This feels very real world.
Yes, this step directly and very pragmatically addresses one of the most common pitfalls in habit formation, being overly ambitious and setting unrealistic expectations.
Yeah, biting off more than you can chew.
Exactly. It profoundly emphasizes tailoring your routine specifically to your actually available time and energy levels. The principle is simple. If you genuinely only have 15 minutes,
Just 15.
then you intelligently choose one impactful item from each core category: mind, body, planning. However, if your schedule allows for a full hour, then and only then can you intelligently add depth and breadth, maybe a longer workout, more journaling, deeper meditation.
Adaptability is key.
The key is adaptation, not rigid adherence to some arbitrary ideal.
And this is exactly where I need to directly address that common pitfall we see everywhere. The urge to try and copy influencers who seem to wake up at 4 a.m. and do 10 things before sunrise.
Oh yes, the comparison trap.
This is absolutely not about what works for them. This is exclusively about what authentically works for you. It's about being brutally realistic and building something sustainable, something that can genuinely integrate into your unique life.
That's a truly critical point. When we connect this to the broader landscape of personal development, this level of personalization and customization is absolutely paramount for long-term sustainability. Comparison, particularly in the age of social media, can be an incredibly powerful demotivating force. Seeing someone else's seemingly elaborate, perfect routine and feeling you simply can't match it, that leads to frustration, self-doubt, and ultimately abandonment.
Right, I'm not good enough for a morning routine.
Exactly. Your routine must, above all, be a genuine source of empowerment and control, not a constant reminder of inadequacy. The source subtly introduces the concept of a minimum viable routine, a stripped-down, essential version.
Minimum viable routine, I like that.
Even short, consistent bursts of intentionality, A 15-minute routine you stick to consistently for months is exponentially more impactful and transformative than an aspirational hour-long routine you give up on after 3 days.
Consistency beats intensity again.
It's about wisely adapting the ideal to your lived reality and finding consistent small wins.
Okay, let's give some concrete examples. A 15-minute routine, what could that look like?
Okay, 15 minutes, super constrained. You might structure it like this. Maybe a quick 5-minute meditation or just deep breathing to center your mind.
Mind. 5 means.
Mind.
Okay.
Followed by 5 minutes of light stretching or a few sun salutations, body.
5 minutes, body.
And then quickly review or write down your top 3 priorities for the day. Planning.
5 minutes, planning, boom, got in 15.
Boom, done 15 minutes. Intentional, effective, covers all bases.
Now, contrast that with, say, a 60-minute routine for someone with more time.
Okay, more spacious. 60 minutes. You could begin with a deeper 10 minutes of reflective journaling. Mind.
Timban, main.
Then transition into a more vigorous 30-minute workout, perhaps a run or a strength session. Body.
30 minutes, body. Getting serious.
Followed by 10 minutes dedicated to a thorough calendar review and meticulous priority setting. Planning.
10 minutes, planning.
And you could even finish with an additional 10 minutes of reading something profoundly inspiring or educational, adding deeper engagement to the mind category.
Doubling up on mind.
Okay. This allows for richer, more immersive engagement within each category, tailoring the depth to the available time.
I can see how that customization is empowering. But how, specifically, does adapting the routine to your unique constraints foster that sense of control and reduce overwhelm, especially when life feels chaotic?
It creates an immediate, profound sense of control because you, the individual, are dictating the terms. You are actively acknowledging your current reality, your time, your energy, your circumstances, and deliberately designing within those specific parameters.
You're in charge.
You're in charge. This dramatically reduces overwhelm because you're not constantly battling an unrealistic, externally imposed expectation of what a perfect morning should look like.
Yeah, no shits.
It fundamentally transforms the routine from a perceived burden into a flexible, adaptable, and genuinely useful tool that you can wield effectively, regardless of how much time or energy you have on a given day. And critically, it builds self-efficacy.
Self-efficacy.
Because each time you stick to what you committed to, even that small 15-minute routine, you prove to yourself that you are capable, you are disciplined, you can follow through. That internal validation is incredibly powerful.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, once you have your modular routine planned and customized, the next step is crucial for making it actually stick. Step 6, minimize friction.
Ah, yes, friction. This step represents a truly fantastic application of practical behavioral psychology. The core information is elegantly simple. Make your routine so inherently easy to follow that there's almost zero resistance.
Make it easy.
The primary method is diligent preparation the night before. This means taking proactive steps like laying out your workout clothes, filling your water bottle, having your journal and pen open to a fresh page, prepping your meditation mat.
Do the work beforehand.
Exactly. The fundamental principle here is that mornings are for following the plan you've already made, not for expending precious mental energy figuring things out or overcoming obstacles.
Yeah, I often think of it as setting yourself up for inevitable success, or like winning the morning before it even begins.
That's a perfect way to frame it.
You're essentially preloading your willpower reserves the night before, right? Transferring decisions to a time when your brain is less tired so you don't have to use that limited morning energy.
Precisely. What's genuinely fascinating here is the direct application of principles like reducing decision fatigue and minimizing cognitive load.
Decision fatigue is real.
It absolutely is. Our willpower and our capacity for effective decision making are not infinite resources. They're finite and deplete throughout the day. By preparing everything the night before, you are essentially automating the initial steps of your morning.
Automating it.
You meticulously remove any potential obstacles, any micro decisions like, what should I wear? Where is my water bottle? Which book? That seem small individually, but cumulatively can easily derail your momentum.
Death by 1,000 tiny decisions.
Exactly. Even seemingly trivial pre-commitments, like laying out your running shoes right by the door, dramatically increase follow-through because the path of least resistance has now been strategically aligned with the desired action. You've removed the active choice in that moment and made the next step utterly obvious and effortless.
So let's get specific with some more examples. If your routine includes a morning workout,
You're not just laying out clothes. You're ensuring your gym bag is fully packed, your shoes are by the door, maybe even pre-chopping fruit for that post-workout smoothie.
okay. If journaling is part of it,
Your journal and favorite pen are not just on your nightstand, but open to a fresh, inviting page. Ready to go.
okay. Reading,
The specific book you intend to read is already placed exactly where you'll sit, maybe with a bookmark at your starting point. If you're doing the cold shower,
yeah.
your towel and anything else you need are ready and waiting. These actions, though tiny, collectively and dramatically reduce the overall energy required to initiate and follow through in the morning. They eliminate friction.
How does this proactive approach empower you, specifically preventing that early morning willpower depletion?
It's profoundly empowering because it grants you a remarkable degree of agency over your future self. You're consciously, deliberately doing your future self a massive favor.
A gift to future you.
Exactly. Instead of waking up and immediately facing a mental battle against inertia or a series of micro decisions that chip away at your limited willpower, your path is already crystal clear. This proactive elimination of friction prevents that critical early morning willpower depletion. It allows you to conserve your precious cognitive resources for more complex, high-stakes tasks later in the day, rather than simply expending them on the mechanics of just getting started. It's an act of self-compassion and strategic energy management.
Fantastic. Okay, once you've meticulously set yourself up for success by minimizing friction, the next crucial phase is all about refinement and continuous improvement. This brings us to step 7, track, adjust, repeat.
Yes, this step profoundly recognizes that a truly effective routine isn't static. It's a living, dynamic system that needs to continuously evolve and adapt with you.
It changes as you change.
Precisely. The core information here is to diligently track your routine for an initial period, maybe a week, using a simple habit tracker app, a bullet journal, or even just a basic checklist.
Okay, track it. Then what?
At the end of that week, you engage in a crucial period of reflection. What specific elements felt genuinely good and energizing? What felt like a persistent drag or caused resistance? And most importantly, what single activity or combination made the biggest positive impact on your overall day?
Reflect and analyze.
Based on these insights, you then make targeted, incremental micro adjustments. The source strongly stresses that the goal is continuous progress, not elusive perfection.
I truly love that. It's like you're your own personal lead scientist conducting a living experiment on yourself.
Exactly. You observe the data, your own feelings and results, you analyze it, and then you refine your hypothesis, which is your routine. You're gathering invaluable data on you.
Date on yourself, love it.
And what genuinely works best for your unique physiology and psychology.
This raises an incredibly important question about the dynamic nature of habit building. Why is this iteration so key?
Many people fail at establishing lasting routines because they mistakenly view them as fixed, immutable prescriptions. But truly effective routines, like our lives, are dynamic. This iterative process of tracking and adjusting is crucial because it creates a powerful self-correcting feedback loop.
Ah, the feedback loop.
You're not just blindly following a plan, you're actively, consciously assessing its real-world effectiveness and deeply personalizing it based on your actual lived experience. And these micro adjustments are the critical element.
Micro adjustments. Why micro?
They prevent overwhelming, drastic overhauls. They make changes feel manageable, incremental, and ultimately sustainable. It's about embracing continuous improvement rather than striving for a single perfect launch that might not even fit you.
So based on that reflection, what kind of practical micro adjustments might someone make?
Well, for example, if after a week you consistently found that meditation felt like a drag or too mentally taxing some mornings,
Yeah.
you might intelligently swap it out for a different mind activity, maybe a few minutes of uplifting reading or even just light stretching if that provides similar mental quietude for you.
Swap a walk, okay.
Or if a planned 10-minute workout felt perpetually rushed, you might decide to shorten it to a more achievable 5 minutes, or perhaps slightly adjust your wake-up time to allow more space.
Adjust the duration or timing.
You might also discover that journaling about gratitude had a much more profound positive impact on your mood than, say, free writing. So you choose to lean into gratitude more consistently.
Double down on what works.
It's fundamentally about keenly listening to your own body and mind, becoming exquisitely self-aware, and then intelligently optimizing your routine for what genuinely serves your core why.
How does this iterative process, this cycle of observe, adjust, repeat, foster resilience and self-awareness? And how does this meta skill of self-optimization translate to other areas of life?
It builds tremendous resilience because you rapidly learn that setbacks or days where your routine falters aren't catastrophic failures.
Yeah.
They're simply invaluable data points.
Data, not failure.
You develop an extraordinary ability to pivot, adapt, and learn from experience rather than becoming discouraged and giving up entirely. It fosters profound self-awareness because you are constantly, consciously tuning into your energy levels, your mental states, and precisely what truly energizes or drains you.
Yeah.
And this meta skill, the overarching ability to observe, assess, and optimize your own complex systems, is an incredibly valuable, transferable asset.
How so?
Transferable. If you can effectively apply this disciplined, analytical approach to your morning routine, you can then powerfully apply it to mastering new skills, managing large projects, or even navigating interpersonal dynamics. It fundamentally teaches you how to learn effectively from direct experience and continuously improve in virtually any domain.
Wow, that's powerful. Okay, before we move to the very last step, let's quickly touch on some crucial traps to look out for, common mistakes that derail people. The source outlines a few.
Yes, important ones. First, and we've touched on it, but it bears repeating, being too ambitious from the outset.
Going too big too soon.
Indeed. Ties back to customizing with constraints. It's pervasive. Many people, fueled by initial enthusiasm, attempt to go from zero to hero overnight, trying to implement an hour-long complex routine when they previously hit snooze 5 times. The timeless advice: start genuinely small. Ridiculously small, even. Win the morning, don't try to dominate it.
Win it, don't dominate it. Love that.
This perfectly aligns with the minimum viable routine and building consistency gradually. Remember, consistent progress, not immediate, overwhelming transformation.
Okay, mistake number 2. Skipping weekends. We talked about consistency, but why is it so bad again?
Right. Stubbornly skipping weekends fundamentally breaks the chain of consistency and severely disrupts your circadian rhythm.
That social jet lag thing.
Exactly. This disruption makes it exponentially harder for your body to establish a natural, predictable sleep-wake cycle during the week. It's like giving your body whiplash every Monday morning, undermining all your weekday efforts. The body craves routine.
Got it. Don't confuse the body clock. And finally, a pervasive habit. Using your phone first thing.
Oh, the phone, yes. It truly is a huge, often unconscious sabotager. Its impact is far more profound than many realize.
Why is it so bad?
This mistake immediately means you're starting your day with someone else's agenda notifications, work emails, social media feeds, breaking news.
Right, reacting immediately.
This instantaneous digital immersion instantly pulls you out of your intentional you time and thrusts you into a reactive, often overwhelming state. It frequently induces stress, comparison, or anxiety, all before you've even had a chance to connect with your own priorities or cultivate your own emotional state. It can significantly and negatively impact your mental state, energy, and sense of control for the rest of the day. You're basically giving away your most precious resource, your initial attention and focus, to external forces right at the start.
Powerful reminder.
Okay.
All invaluable advice for staying on track. And now for the final piece of this transformative puzzle, which acts as a powerful psychological bookend. Step 8. End your routine with a trigger.
Yes. This is a subtle yet remarkably powerful psychological technique rooted in behavioral science. A trigger, in this context, is the precise, identifiable final signal that your dedicated morning routine is officially complete.
A signal is done.
It acts as a clear, definitive punctuation mark. It effectively trains your brain to associate this specific action with the clear understanding that, okay, my self-care and preparation time is over, and now I am ready to begin the active, productive phase of my day. It establishes a clear demarcation point.
I think of it as a clear finishing line for your personal time, transitioning you into your public or productive time. A clean break.
Exactly. A clean break, signaling a purposeful change in gears, preventing that bleed we talked about earlier. What's profoundly fascinating here is the underlying psychological principle, often called a completion ritual or a closing loop.
Closing the loop.
Humans, by nature, thrive on clear beginnings and definitive endings. This sharp, unambiguous demarcation signals a critical shift in cognitive mode from inward self-care and preparation to outward-focused work or engagement.
And without
this clear trigger, there can be a subtle but insidious routine bleed where the lines blur. You might feel subtly distracted or still partially in morning routine mode, even as you try to tackle your first demanding task.
lingering thoughts.
This deliberate trigger creates a vital mental boundary, allowing you to fully commit your attention and energy to the next phase without those lingering mental remnants. It's an elegant solution to mental clutter.
So what could these practical triggers actually look like? The source gives examples.
It does. Excellent relatable ones. For example, simply closing your journal after you've completed your writing or reflection.
The physical act of closing it.
Yes, that physical act can be a surprisingly strong, visceral signal that your dedicated period of reflection is now complete, and it's time to pivot your focus outwards. Another effective example is pressing start on a specific, predetermined playlist.
Music as a cue.
Exactly. It creates a distinct auditory cue that this block of time is conclusively over, and a new, more focused period has unequivocally begun. The brain quickly learns this association.
Or the classic for many, brewing coffee and sitting down at your desk.
That's a perfect and incredibly common trigger, especially if the routine culminates in starting work. The multisensory ritual of brewing coffee, the aroma, the warmth, followed by the physical act of moving to and settling into your designated workspace, serves as an immensely powerful and consistent signal that the preparation phase is definitively complete, and it is now time to shift into a productive, task-oriented mindset. It's a highly effective anchor.
And crucially, how does this final, clear signal genuinely enhance focus and reduce procrastination as you transition into your main tasks? And how does it prevent that routine bleed?
It profoundly enhances focus because your brain receives an undeniable, clear start signal for the next activity. This distinct demarcation actively reduces mental drag and drastically minimizes procrastination because there is absolutely no ambiguity about whether the routine is done.
No ambiguity.
You're not left in limbo, halfway thinking about your meditation while trying to draft an email. By rigorously preventing routine bleed, where elements or the mental state of your routine linger or tempt you away from your first task, it dramatically improves your overall productivity and elevates your mental clarity throughout the rest of the day. You've consciously, cleanly closed the loop on one phase and are now fully present, engaged, and prepared for the demands of the next. It's a powerful act of intentional segmentation.
Wow. We've truly covered so much ground today. This has been a really comprehensive exploration, guiding you from the absolute foundational step of defining your powerful why
So critical.
to understanding the crucial role of a consistent wake-up time and a gentle wake-up ritual. We then plunge deep into the adaptable framework of building a modular routine using those mind-body planning blocks,
The Legos.
the Legos, and crucially, how to intelligently customize it based on your constraints. We discussed minimizing friction by preparing the night before,
Making it easier.
and then the empowering, iterative process of tracking, adjusting, and repeating, learning, and refining. And finally, the power of ending with a clear trigger.
Indeed. What becomes abundantly clear through this exploration is that building a genuinely transformative morning routine isn't about rigidly following some external rules or someone else's ideal.
No.
Instead, it is, at its core, a deeply personal journey of self-discovery, continuous optimization, and profound intentionality. Each step, each insight we've discussed, is fundamentally designed to empower you, the listener, to take undeniable ownership of your mornings.
Ownership.
And by direct extension of your entire day. Implementing these steps is an act of proactive, intentional self-stewardship that inevitably pays compounding dividends throughout one's entire day and far, far beyond.
So what does all of this mean for you, our engaged listener? This deep dive has hopefully gifted you a powerful, actionable framework, a personalized blueprint to not just improve, but to truly take conscious control of your mornings. It's not just about the physical act of waking up. It's about waking up on purpose, with intention, and with agency.
And this raises an important, maybe even philosophical question. If our mornings become a meticulously prepared canvas for deliberate creation, rather than just a reactive scramble, how might that consistent daily practice of intentionality profoundly shape the masterpiece of our entire lives, one deliberate, thoughtful stroke at a time?
Wow. Think about this for a moment. If you can master the first hour of your day, if you can consistently, intentionally, proactively design and execute that crucial first segment of your waking life, aligning it with your deepest values and goals, what other seemingly impossible tasks, what other daunting challenges might you suddenly discover yourself capable of tackling? With that very same newfound discipline, that same profound intentionality, that same unshakable belief in your own capacity, this consistent practice of designing and relentlessly refining a morning routine This disciplined act of profound self-care and unwavering intention. It can serve as a foundational, almost alchemical master habit.
A master habit.
It doesn't just improve your mornings. It builds profound mental resilience, fosters a consistently proactive mindset, and cultivates the deep internal discipline needed to not only tackle challenges, but to relentlessly pursue your most ambitious goals across all areas of your life. It reaches far beyond just getting more done in the morning.
It really becomes about building yourself, doesn't it? One intentional morning at a time.